I welcome us to the second part of our tutorials on how to write project or research report with Eze Sunday Uchenna. And in part 2, which is our part B, our specific objective are that by the end of this lesson, the student should be able to apply the knowledge of variables and research design in formulating a research topic. 2, identify the sources of educational problem. And then 3, list the qualities of a good educational problem. So let's begin. Easy steps to formulate a research topic using the knowledge from research, design, and variables. What are the easy steps? Step number 1, identify and choose a broad problem area. For example, evaluation of curriculum materials is a broad problem area. Corruption in public offices, election rigging, student poor academic achievement, resources for science teaching, educational choices, second language learning. All these listed down here are broad problem area. In our last video, I taught us how to get a broad area. There, for you to be able to get a broad problem area, you have to observe. I told us that you have to observe. It is when you observe and then you find out a problem that will be asking you why. Why is this thing like this? You notice that there is a missing link. So you now pick that thing as a broad problem area, and from there you break it down. So now let's look at step 2. Step 2 says locate a gap. Now I've brought up a problem area, and let's assume that the problem area I brought out is academic achievement. And then under academic achievement, as a teacher, I discovered that my students are not doing well in my subject. The question that will come to my mind is what? Why? So now I have located a gap. And what is that gap? The gap I locate is that my students are not doing well. So what did I say here? I said the researcher will need to gain knowledge of current status of research that has been done in that area so as to identify questions yet unanswered. This reading involves going through books and reviews of research done by others on that problem area. For example, if I am interested on academic achievement, I will go to the library and gather every work I could lay my hand on that has academic achievement as a variable to equip myself with every necessary information about academic achievement. It is very self-explanatory. So now I pick up academic achievement, I want to study it. And then I started asking myself, why is this? Why is that? The first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to library, gather different material to know if other people who have written something regarding that academic achievement have answered the question that have been bothering me. So if they have answered the question that have been bothering me, then I have to pick another broad problem area. There is no need of coming to carry out research that has been carried out already that has a finding. Even though you can replicate a research topic in trying to refine it again, but for you to replicate a research topic, it has to take time. Sometimes you say, okay, now after 5 years, maybe that research work. That's why you find out that sometimes when you submit a project and then your project is carrying dates, you cite people and the citation is carrying people like 1996, 2000, 1950. You will see that your supervisor will tell you that it is too old. Why? Because people are researching again. So for you to research a work, when you gather those works, you will find that one of the reasons why you check has when was the last time somebody did a study regarding this thing? Has it been too long? If it's too long, then you can still go ahead and carry research, because as we keep on growing, things keep on changing, and there's a need to search and research again. You know, I told you people that time that research means what? To search again. So now let's go to the next one, which is using the knowledge of variables and research design to formulate a topic. This is our major concern. The type of gap or missing link identified will ascertain the type of research design that will guide the formulation of topics. Nature of descriptive study topics. So now, if the gap identified by the researcher made him or her to employ a descriptive survey, which involve describing a variable in relation to the population. The topics will be structured in a manner that will permit the researcher to draft research questions that will gather data describing the variable in relation to the environment. For example, the perception of teachers on student poor academic achievement in Stafe local government of Zamfara. You will discover that this topic now will only bring out research questions that are only going to describe teachers' perception regarding poor academic achievement and nothing more. Why? Because it's a descriptive study. Or the factors contributing to student poor academic achievement. Here is also describing those factors that are causing poor academic achievement. Or the decline in students' academic achievement in the Basin North Local Government of Enugu State. You find out that here is only describing those decline in academic achievement. So if you see, this one is a descriptive study. While the next one, which is on the nature of correlation study topics. If after studying those material, the gap identified by the researcher made him or her to employ a correlation survey, which involves establishing a relationship between two or more variables. The topic will be structured in a manner that will help the researcher draft out research questions that will help establish if there is an existing relationship between a variable or not. For example, the influence of single teaching method on students' poor academic achievement. The impact of parental involvement on students' poor academic achievement. The role of socio-economic status on students' poor academic achievement. If you check both when we're discussing descriptive and when we are now discussing correlation, we are still talking on poor academic achievement. And let's assume that what we pick as our broad area now is broad academic achievement. So through the study of materials, a researcher now find out that nobody have said anything about the influence of single teaching method on student poor academic. Then he will go ahead and carry out a topic on it. Or nobody have said anything about impact of parental involvement on student poor academic. You go ahead and carry a topic with that. So you see now, it is from, we now discovered now, it is from the research design that we now know what type of research, how are we going to structure our research topic. I hope somebody is getting me now. The knowledge of research design, you get to know how you're going to structure your research topic. Are you structuring your research topic to in line with correlation study, or are you structuring your research topic in line with descriptive survey? Are you getting me? Or descriptive study. So most projects, note this somewhere, that most project topics with impact, role, influence, effect, even though some topics that have effect may be experimental studies as well, but majority are correlation studies, as they tend to predict how the independent variables affect the dependent variables in the relationship. With the knowledge of that, we can be able to develop a research topic on our own. I want you all to try out and see if you can be able to develop a research topic by yourself. If you encounter any challenge, you ask me. You ask me a question. You can drop your questions on the videos and I'm going to answer you. So now let's look at the sources of education problem. How do you know broad area for you to bring out a problem? One is through literature. And what do you mean by literature? It means books, previous research reports, encyclopedia, as well as journals and periodicals in an area of what? Interest. So for example now, I may be reading a book, and then when I'm reading that book, in that book, I may discover a problem. Maybe I may discover a problem in academic achievement. I may discover a problem in socio-economic lifestyle. I may discover a problem about corruption in the society that needs to be settled. And that's a way I can be able to get a problem. Or through previous research work, I may enter library and then I bring up a research work. Then I see a topic. I see a topic that is talking about either teenage pregnancy, talking about drug abuse and so on. And then I will pick interest in drug abuse or pick interest in teenage pregnancy and so on. I will now say, okay, I want to carry out a study on this broad area. Then another way we can be able to get again, another way we can be able to get an area of problem is through theory. Maybe we have theories of learning, counseling theories, economic theories, and so on. Under theory of learning, you may have read a theory. Maybe in a theory, you read about behaviorist theory, you read about psychoanalytic theory, and so on, and theory of cognitive development. And from that theory, maybe you read a place where they said something. Let me use, for example, Ausubel's summation theory that says that the use of instructional materials facilitate learning of children. So you see now, you now say, okay, now this one is not talking about academic achievement. That's the use of instructional material. Now it will now make you to say, okay, now let me try and carry out the topic and see if I use instructional material like ICT, is it going to promote students' academic achievement? You see now, from theory, you have raised up an idea of where you are going to channel, you get your educational problem from. Then another one is personal experience. Maybe you went for a field work, or during your teaching practice, or during a lecture or a seminar. You can get another research problem from that place. Maybe in teaching practice, maybe you went for teaching practice. For example, in personal experience now, let's use teaching practice for example. Now, maybe you went for a teaching practice, and then during your teaching practice, you discover that when you are teaching, the children don't usually understand very well, even when you are teaching them very well. You see, from here now, you can be able to develop a research that you need to make in order to find out why is it that the children are not doing well. So the next thing we are going to look at, which is the last thing, is the qualities of a research problem. First of all, a research problem must be researchable. What do you mean by research being researchable? It means that the materials you'll be needing to run that research must be accessible and available. For example, you cannot go and bring out a topic that you cannot be able to find the material. Let's say, for example, you are treating a topic like heaven existence and its influence on humanity. How will you get your data from heaven? Have you been to heaven before? For you to be able to get the data from heaven to show that heaven actually exists, and then before you now start talking about how it influenced humanity. So topics like that are not researchable. Then let's look at another thing that is a quality of a good research problem. We have significance. Every research that you are carrying out or you intend to carry out must have a significance. That means it must have importance. It must have those people that are going to benefit from your study when you finish your study. That's what significance means. Then another one is novel. A problem that is worthy of research should be a problem without a known solution at the time of the research. You cannot say, okay, you want to carry out a research on something that have been discovered and the answer is already there. Everybody's seen the answer already. Everybody already know the solution. And then you now say, okay, you want to carry a research on something that you already know the solution. Your research, if you want to carry a research, it has to be on a problem that has an unanswered question or has missing link. Then the next one is consistent with good researchers' competence, interest, and circumstances. I mentioned this thing last class, whereby I said if you want to carry out the research, you have to go in a topic that you know that you have interest in, and a topic that you know that you have a little understanding of what it means. You can't pick up variables that you don't know. For you to carry a study on a variable, you should have an idea of the variable. That's why I told us that before we even start running a research, first of all, you have to go and study, gather materials and study about a particular variable. And after you have studied it, you have idea of what the variable is all about. Then you can now come and start a research. I believe that at the end of this lesson, you have learned how to formulate a project topic. If you have any question, feel free to drop your question on the comment section. I'm going to reply you. And as well, try and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are not in our group chat, try and join, so that we used to have discussion class and you can be able to ask me your questions on the discussion class and I'm going to answer you. Thank you for your time.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss out in the next episode. Thank you for watching and God bless you. See you in the next class.